We'll start with the first question then, guys. Do you think that films such as Fight Club and Ong Bak, or video games such as Call of Duty or Manhunt, glamorise violence? Do I have a taker? Anyone want to start the debate? Yeah? Ben? Was that cough?
No, that was actually a cough.
Right. Anybody want to make a... Yeah? Christian, you got there first.
Well, in what you've just said, I think that none of that should be really censored because it's not projecting violence in any way. It's just showing you how violent films can be. It's not really, people won't go out and do these things unless they have had a bad upbringing, because people know that violence to a certain extent is wrong.
Okay, that's an interesting point. What do you mean by it shows what films can be?
Well, not all films are completely 100% true, with like Ong Bak, the things that he does, a normal human being would not be able to do.
Right.
So, yeah.
So why do you think that that means that it shouldn't be censored?
I got nothing.
Go on, no, you just carry on with what you were saying.
I really can't think.
Okay, we'll come over to Josh because Josh had his hand up first.
What he was saying, that it wouldn't encourage people to go out here, and people are very easy to manipulate, as you can see with many reality shows. And also in history, like in World War II, they used propaganda to convince people to hate Jewish people.
That's a very good point. Yeah, Ben, so you had a contribution, yeah?
As well as this, I'd like to pick up on a point that Christian made regarding people knowing that violence is wrong. However, going on that point, with all of these examples shown here, we're obviously trying to glamorise that it's right and it's acceptable that things such as fight clubs, and I'm not saying that war is wrong, but being part of an army is fine. It's fine to kill people, it's fine to do all these things. And you have games such as Bully, in which children, you play as a school bully and go around beating up children. Yet in all the papers we have all these problems with happy slapping and bullying in schools.
Yes, good point.
Yet then there's media out there directly promoting that.
Encouraging it. Okay, yes, Steve, you had your hand up first.
To be honest, yeah, the media, like movies and games as an example, they offer you a more interactive escape to visualise the effects of such bad activities without actually having to do them in reality.
So like a catharsis and a bit of escapism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Fight Club, the guy actually starring in that film, who's implicated in all these violent activities, he's actually mentally unstable, which sort of suggests that these people who will actually take into consideration and go out and reenact these activities that are blatantly wrong could also be, in theory, mentally unstable themselves.
Okay, Andrew, you had your hand up.
Steve.
No? Yeah. Jack, yeah?
Just touching on video games, Call of Duty, I think, shows an example of how sort of media products are getting progressively more violent, and it's something that needs to be called really, because you look at the first few Call of Duty installments, and they weren't that violent. They didn't have that much dismemberment in them and stuff like that. But the most recent one, Black Ops, has got detailed dismemberment, and with fire and stuff, you can see their skin get burned. And what it's trying to do as a game is try and make the player feel like they're awesome when they do something like that. And people might take that into consideration in real life and think, okay, well, I'm going to feel awesome and do that.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Josh, you had your
I'd
hand
like
up,
to
yeah?
pick up on what Steve said about using video games to escape, to escape reality. Well, people shouldn't go into a fantasy land. They should focus on their actual lives and not actually be thinking about doing these horrible things to people, even if it is in their own head or game.
Yeah, well, just David, seeing as you've been waiting, yeah?
Again, what Josh was saying, so if it is in their head that they're going to do it in the game, what's saying it's not going to stay in their head and project into their real lives and end up hurting someone. Also,
So you're saying that things that they learn from the media text.
Yeah, exactly. There's films such that are out there. I'm going to take one. It's a film called District 13, which involves a group of outlaws. They do free running parkour, running from the law, and they're jumping across buildings. And when people see this, they think it's brilliant. It's great. But it also makes them want to go out and try this, which can then endanger themselves or other people around them.
But the thing with District 13 was it a political statement against the current state of affairs in Paris. I mean, I don't know, are you familiar with how things work in Paris with regards to districts? Or are you familiar with the idea of the projects in America? Compton, you all know Compton? Projects were set up during like the 60s to house people, and then they obviously turned into these slums, these ghettos, and this is essentially what's happened in Paris. So do you not think that people have a right to stand up and voice their opinion with regards to politics and the way people are being treated?
I do, but then it's portrayed in the wrong way by going against the law.
Okay.
Which again, that could make people think about this by seeing that they get things done in the movies by this way, and all through the news how nothing seems to happen. There's no progression going through the proper people and
ways.
Ways.
We'll just come back to Steve because I know he's got a retort, and we'll come to you, Tom.
To argue this out a bit further, in video games, yeah, you'll get achievements for doing certain tasks based around violence. However, the only achievement that you'll actually get in reality, which everyone knows, is some form of law enforcement upon you. So like imprisonment or something, which isn't going to get you anywhere.
So you're saying that people should have enough common sense to understand the fact that there's going to be implications to whatever they do. Yeah, okay. Tom,
I was going to say, regarding Call of Duty, all the violence and stuff that's in that game is portrayed as historical accuracy. So in the war, if someone got hit with a flamethrower, they'd melt, basically. If you took that out of the game, it wouldn't be historically accurate. So they're just trying to honour history in that and try to keep it as realistic as possible.
Do you maybe not think that there's a line between historical accuracy and grotesque violence?
Yeah, but there is an option to like turn it off. So if you're not, if you don't want to see all this accuracy and like all the gore and stuff, you can say no at the beginning of the game. You don't see any of it.
Right. So it's optional.
Yeah.
Okay. Any of you guys at the back got anything at all?
No.
No? Okay. Sam, yeah, we'll just come to you.
Well, as a whole of what everyone's been saying that people are going to go out and reenact all these things that they see, I think you're not giving your fellow man enough credit for common sense.
Yeah.
And saying that they've all got really, I don't know, everyone has the same mindset that we're all criminals, we're going to go out and kill people just because we saw it in the games.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Jack, and then we'll come to Alec, and then Josh, Dave.
Okay, well basically just going off what Steve and what some of Sam said about the common sense issue, is if we're going to go on that, then why do we even have prisons when we should just have faith in our man that they're not going to commit a crime, because we don't need the prison then.
Okay, yeah, Steve, if you want to retort, yeah.
Mentally unstable people that actually feel the need to actually go out there and instigate these criminal acts.
Okay, Dave?
I'd like to go on what Sam said. So there's proof that you can put thought into someone's mind, and it will say there. So I've watched lots of different things. One I watched was a group of people. They were took into a room and they were given subliminal messages. They didn't know what it meant. They thought it was just a normal talk. And basically, what this made them do was go into a sweet shop and steal a chocolate bar, and they didn't think anything of it. But that's them committing a crime. And so again, like things on the TV, when they see, for instance, the TV program Dexter, that shows that he's killing people and he's getting away with it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So what's stopping people from thinking, oh, he does it this way, why can't I try that? I could do that. I don't like this person, I could get away with it.
Okay, we're just going to go to Josh because he has his hand up.
Dave kind of covered more.
Okay, Alec, you were next.
I'd just like to point out that when you talked about how you don't like how people escape into their game and like to be shut off from the world, but in quite a lot of ways, some people are violent in real life, and some people find it good to go and release that anger in a game instead of releasing it onto someone in real life. And also, when you talked about how people have subliminal messages, it's not that in the games that they've actually put in subliminal messages to make people go out there and kill people. Yeah. They put it in there for the realism in the game.
I mean, essentially, what's the point of putting subliminal messages into your games that are going to make people you're going to kill off your own audience, essentially. Tom, and then Steve,
Also,
and come back to Ben.
there are age ratings on the games, so generally the older you are, the less malleable your brain gets, so then you're less susceptible to these subliminal messages. So these age ratings are heavily governed by the bodies that sort them out, obviously, and they try and make it so that if it's not suitable for a certain audience, they won't be able to play it because it's got that rating on them. All games and movies and media texts are governed by that. So,
Steve?
The key thing that we really have to take into consideration here is the fact that these media products are, although some newspapers, etc., might actually be based on fact, a lot of these media products, such as games and movies, aren't actually real, and that's what you need to take into consideration, that there's a massive difference between what's fact and what's fiction.
Okay. Ben and then Josh?
2 points I want to pick up on. With Sam saying that it's categorising all of the audience, saying that none of them have common sense. We've seen in far too many occasions in the past that it only takes one person without common sense to lose the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. You know, Adolf Hitler as an example. Obviously he wasn't playing video games or watching media, but it's the same principle. It only takes one person to lose it to cost the lives of many more.
Yeah.
As well as that, I'd like to go over to what Tom said, which I've forgotten what he said, about the age restrictions.
Yeah.
We've all seen, again, in examples such as the Call of Duty series, how seriously they're taken by their audiences and how easy it is for small children to play these games and pick up on them easily. So if they're not going to take the age restrictions seriously, then more action still has to be done to enforce.
Is that not the parents' fault then for buying those games?
I guess in a way it is the parents' fault, but you can't just pin it on the parents all the
Okay.
time.
If I could jump in
Just
there.
going to come to Josh quickly, and then we'll come to you,
I'd
Dave.
like to pick up on what Alec and Tom said. Alec was saying that some people are just angry and that they take the video games out of aggression, but I don't think there should be like things to, probably because if you're playing something and you're losing, you can get frustrated, and if you're already angry, then you pretty much go going crazy. Like if you saw that greatest freak out ever video, because he gets his like account banned, he goes crazy and throws a big paddy. Also, Tom, we all see like age restrictions, but it doesn't really stop people from getting it because all it is, it's just a number on the cover. I mean, anyone can. I mean, some people can just sell it to you. They can also get other people just to get it for them.
Just going to go to Andrew.
Like Josh just said about the
Sorry.
age restrictions, they're not really there to say if you're over 18, if you're under 18, then there's no way you can play this game. They're there to give you a guide to say, so it's depending on the godparents or guardian or whoever is, or whoever's even selling the game, they will know that even though the child may not be, or they may not be 17, they may be 17, but they can still play the game, but whoever's buying it for them will know that it'll have blood, gore, or whatever else is in the game. So it's not really a number on a cover, it's sort of a guide for people instead of having on front of the cover saying this game contains blah 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 blah, because they're not going to sell the game.
Okay, Dave, yeah, and then we'll come to Steve.
I'd like to go on again with the age restrictions. I don't think that they're wanted enough personally, because yeah, the parents could buy them the games and it may affect them there, but what's stopping the company has to know that the majority of their audience is under the age of 18 who are playing the game. So why aren't they on there using people who go into the game and catch out these people who are using it and stop them from playing it?
Okay, yeah, interesting point, yeah. Steve and then Tom.
Going on what Ben was saying about Hitler eliminating all the Jews, in a sense, that's more based around religion, isn't it? So you can put censorship on religion next.
Yeah.
It's my turn to answer.
Well, would you care to retort, or?
No, I'm not saying at all that that we have to censorship a religion. I'm saying that was purely an example of how someone without common sense can not control their own actions, can imagine things and use their imagination to create whatever they want if they have enough power, regardless of whether that's to do with religion or to do with a game or to do with anything.